Hello everybody, this is Maniac4Bricks, and I am here with my LEGO room tour and update. Now, if you've already been following the channel for a while, you've probably seen a lot of this stuff, and you won't see a lot of it updated at the moment. This is the before, when I, just show you raw what everything looks like here, even if it looks like an unorganized mess. Some of it is organized. I'm not going to jump into all the details about it, but I will let you know that this is all going to be changing, and I just wanted to give you the before so that you get an idea of, like, what I have to work with and what is going to happen to a lot of this stuff. I will talk about some of the areas that will be updated later on, but I also want to mention, for those who haven't been on the channel for that long, this is an opportunity to take a look at what kind of LEGO room I've been working with. I will admit that there is not all LEGO in here. Like, this area back here is a whole bunch of Hot Wheels and Connect stuff. Some of that I do want to update at some later point. I also want to admit that there is not all of my LEGO collection in here. Some of this stuff is for trades with other people. Some of this stuff is not LEGO. And there are still plenty of LEGO stuff that I have in other rooms I have not yet gone to and organized. In fact, there's a couple areas in here that I have to keep open. One of the main things when I was setting up this room in the past year and a half, tables and, some of the larger furniture, I needed to have some of these areas open in the back. That has a couple of areas for the water heater and a couple of pipelines, so that needs to be there, open space to go to that. This back area has a couple more pipes to go through, but there's also a large collection of board games, older board games in there, and even some you can kind of peek out on the side. And there's also, you see those big two panels there, those are circuit boards, so they are still accessible, even though it doesn't look like there's a lot of room for them. You can still walk up to them and use them if there is an emergency. So, where do we begin? Well, maybe we could start with some of this area, which I have talked about in a previous video. This is my beach town, Studside Heights. The only update here compared to that last video was I added a couple power miner stuff. I was pulling them out for another project, and did not move them out of the town yet. So, for right now, they're just kind of sitting all over. But I will update this town as far as the buildings go, as far as the vehicles go, and as far as the figures go. That will be its own video separately. There is also an area, there's actually a lot of shelving areas. So I have a lot of room for displays outside of this area for display of my own stuff. But there's a lot of areas for display on this shelf, which is rather large, and currently just has like a whole bunch of mishmash, a bunch of different sets in there, in different containers, a whole bunch of Happy Meal toys in there, some of them Lego Batman movie, a lot of Ziploc bags here, which I'll get to in a moment, and a few sets that I need to finish building there. Missing a couple parts here and there, and I need to rearrange those. Now, as far as the Ziploc bags, there's actually a large box behind me that has a whole bunch of LEGO stuff that I've built and I've torn apart, and I keep them together. I keep the parts together, sometimes the instructions with them, so that if I want to rebuild them again, which I will have on occasion, then I have that to go to. The instructions sometimes wind up in a large binder or several binders on another shelf, but there are also some smaller sets like poly bags. I just keep the instructions with them because I figure, they'll fit in the bag anyways. So, as far as the rebuilding of LEGO sets, speaking of which, here are some of the two shelves which I've dedicated to recycling of LEGO themes. This is an area where every now and then, or at least for this video series, every room update, you will get to see another set of LEGO themes represented here. So right now it has a couple of Agent stuff from 2008. There's a little bit of Alpha Team there. The Hero Factory just kind of sitting there for, I don't know why, not really related to it. But this is an area where I want to have LEGO sets on display for a little while, and then, tear them apart, put them in bags, and just keep the LEGO sets themselves fresh. And, keep this something I can, always enjoy, even if I build the sets hundreds of times, there are still some really cool sets to put out here. So every now and then, if people stop by, or if I do these videos, there will be something new to see. On the back wall, I do need to update that area because this is my collectible minifigures wall. These are mounting squares on top of, or underneath, all of these base plates. They are neatly organized, but I still have to reorganize all of them in checklist order. I didn't do that at first, and it's a big mistake. And I also need to resize some of the walls because some of these are like really close to each other. So I want to fix that up. And it basically is accounting for all the numerical collectible minifigure series up to and including Series 16, if I remember correctly. It may get bumped with some of the revision in the next video, but we'll wait and see as far as how that goes. I don't really know if it's going to go a lot further after 16 in numerical order because the area down here is basically where the base plates end. Behind the... It kind of just serves as a backdrop. Just make it more interesting for anything that's in front of here. And the same method is done over in this corner with superheroes. This will become miscellaneous themes, and this will become Star Wars. Disregard what sets are there. They need to be rearranged on shelves. The two down here for shelves have a whole bunch of boxes with sets in them, and these are sets that I like to keep the boxes with, or at least the smaller ones of those. There are still bigger sets that I like to keep the boxes, but I have not found a place for them yet, and for these, I still need to work it out too. A lot of these are exclusives that are from Shop at Home, Ideas, or Kuso. Some of them were Bricktober or Toys R Us exclusives, and then there's ones like, there's a Blacktron set in there, and then there's a Lego Indiana Jones. I just happen to have the boxes for them, and it's kind of cool keeping those around. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the Indiana Jones for much longer. I think I've already talked about the area up here, but just a quick recap. I have done this on a video before, and not much has changed since that video. Basically, this area is for all superhero stuff, where the left has DC, the middle and right has Marvel, and then the far right, there's like 5 columns over there kind of squished, is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, I have a whole bunch of models out here. These are some of my more favorite models from each of those lines, and I will rotate those out every now and then as well. Some of them may stay, but some of them will be rotated. I thought the Pac-Man would be fun to throw in there because of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. If you've seen that movie, you know what I'm talking about. As far as the figures go in here, I'm not aiming to collect every superhero figure. These are just ones that I've picked up mostly through sets over time, and some of them I have gone independently picking up figures like this version of Doc Ock on the corner, but most of the time it's just from whatever sets I like and whatever sets I pick up, I will add the figures into there. For example, if I were to get the Civil War airport battle, like I think that's already actually added in here. I have things like the giant Ant-Man, the small Ant-Man, those figures are added in here just because they came with the set. I mostly leave those figures in there. So, speaking of which, the Marvel area is actually categorized by the top having mostly Spider-Man figures. I think there's only 1 or 2 that are moved down to the bottom. And then it goes into some of the Marvel Cinematic Universe for the next 2 or 3 rows. And then at the very bottom we have some of the X-Men, and we have Deadpool, and I think there's Venom peeking out. The DC area has mostly just Batman suits on the top, allies of Batman, or, just DC superheroes, and then DC supervillains next row for the most part, and the row underneath it. So, different organization, but still fun to put together. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's mostly just the ones from the TV show, the Nickelodeon TV show, because I do prefer those variants. There are a few customs in there, but I don't remember if I've added them in yet. It's a little hard to see here, but, they're there, or at least they're nearby. And some of the big figs I just kind of throw into the shelf itself. For the rest of the areas down here, they are still in work, but like I said, this is going to be miscellaneous themes, which includes, but is not limited to, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, SpongeBob, Indiana Jones, Scooby-Doo, and there's probably going to be more added to that. Maybe like Harry Potter or something, or Toy Story. This area is going to be for Star Wars, and there'll probably be some larger models than these in here, and those again will be rotated. I just want to have a rotation of them because it keeps the shelves fresh. and fun to look at. So you have some cool models, and you have mostly the figures in the background lining it up. And if I do need the figures, I'll take them out every now and then. I do want to have a shelf or two for Bionicle, and this area back here used to be for all the canister sets. I'm not sure if it's going to go back to that, but I'm still keeping that option open. There are actually a couple of Sterilites around here, which I've been using for organizing parts, and may not look like it right now, but I'm actually going to reshuffle a bunch of these to fit in some of the ones I got more recently from pickups at off the curb. You know, they're things that people were throwing away. A lot of minifigures in here. There's some of the other collectible minifigures series, such as Lego Movie, Lego Batman Movie, Disney, and Team GB, at least a few of them that I have. Those will actually be moved up there at some point later on, and maybe fit more collectible minifigures, because I have a few stands underneath it for that as well. So as far as the shelves go, here's some of the organization I've had, where I have things like Lego trains and power functions in a couple of drawers. There's a whole bunch of windows, for the most part, in here. There are 2x4 bricks, which I'm sure I have plenty more to add into this bin, or may mix other types of basic bricks in there. This one has a whole bunch of Bionicle. It is very heavy compared to the other drawers, and I will have to move this into some other unit, because there are plenty more Bionicle pieces to organize and Technic with that. There's a few of these drawers that just have Lego sets in them for right now, but I will get to reshuffling those in a little bit. This drawer also has more power functions and train parts, a whole bunch of these soccer balls for GBC building, because I do want to do that at some point. This one has a whole bunch more city sets, again will be moved around. There's more slopes underneath there. I actually do want to move some of my more favorite elements to build with into these 9 drawers. For right now, they just have a mix of parts, some poly bags, and some minifigures. And I figure this is the kind of building area I want to work with. At some point, it will be very productive, and this would be an area to immediately get the parts, so I don't have to race all around the room for a certain thing that I use frequently. I don't know if I mentioned it before. There's a whole bunch of base plates in this first drawer. The drawer next to it has a bunch of slopes, and then the drawer after that are Mega Blocks. These are not full. There are still plenty of room in each of those drawers, and plenty of the other drawers you saw throughout the room. So, still plenty to work with. There's also a mini fridge in here just to have some snacks, keep things fresh, and you know, keep my energy going. So here over in this corner, we have the Lego board games, and there's one or two that aren't Lego licensed, but they still kind of fit in there with the theme of it. And then we have a whole bunch of my Lego library. These are Lego books and pamphlets and periodicals and papers that I've collected over time and still collect. Like, there's still more to add to it that are always fun to go through every now and then. Some people have said, oh, there's not much information in them. Well, yeah, but there's a lot of fun in them. And there are a bunch of creative ideas here and there. There are some of them that have catalogs of minifigures of a certain theme, and is very interesting. There are some of them about Lego history that are very cool. There are some with that are made by Lego fans and are good ways of, you know, helping out other Lego fans with organizing parts or getting to build your own stuff. So really happy that that's there, and there will still be more added to this. The big binders over here are for instructions. A lot of these are full of instructions in no particular order. Just crammed them all in there as best as I could, and there's still more to cram in. This binder is for Lego fans that I've met in person or through mail, and I have very nice notes that they've sent to me, so that's in there. Also from different conventions outside of Lego. This has a whole bunch of card collections outside of Lego, but also including Lego. There's some Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon in there as well. I actually do want to have an area for Lego relics, some of these oddball things that I've collected over time, but I couldn't show them in this video because it would spoil some things. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the room tour. There will be plenty to update in the near future for the next room tour. Let me know what you guys liked and what you would like to see improved. And we'll see you next time with more Lego videos.